What is a narrative? A narrative is a spoken or written account of connected events, or a story. So, you might be asking yourself, well, what is it that makes a story good? And there are many different types of stories. Stories about adventure, action, mystery, drama, love, and more. Here we are going to explore the 5 basic steps to creating your own narrative. Step 1, write a script. To write a script, you'll want to follow a typical narrative structure, which includes 6 components. Number 1, the opening. The opening introduces the setting and the characters. Number 2, the build. The build establishes relationships and develops the characters and their world. Number 3, the conflict. The conflict proposes a dilemma or a series of complications in which the characters are faced with an obstacle to overcome. Number 4, the trials. The trials are a series of events or actions as the characters try to overcome the obstacles, solve their problems, and/or discover the truth. Number 5, the resolution. The resolution consists of the protagonist reigning victorious, solving the problems, or revealing the truth. Number 6, the end. In the ending, the characters reflect on events, reinstate relationships, and look forward. So, to sum it all up, just remember: opening, build, conflict, trials, resolution, and ending. I know this is a lot of information to take in all at once, but here's a good little acronym to help you remember these steps. Only buy cats that run east. Okay, now let's take this theory and put it to the test by taking this structure and incorporating it into a well-known movie. I'm sure a lot of us have seen the movie Finding Nemo, so let's use this as an example. Again, let's follow the same structure as mentioned before. Okay, so for Finding Nemo, the opening introduces Marlin. Marlin and his wife Coral are looking forward to becoming parents together. That is, until a barracuda attacks Coral and her eggs, leaving only one. Build. Fast forward a little bit and you see the relationship that is formed between Marlin and Nemo. Nemo is full of curiosity and desires freedom, but Marlin is overprotective of Nemo, afraid to lose the only family he has left. Conflict. Nemo's taken by a diver, never to be seen again, and Marlin goes after him. Trials. Marlin faces vegetarian sharks, underwater minefields, deadly jellyfish, and enormous sea turtles on his journey. Resolution. After a long and difficult voyage, Marlin is reunited with Nemo. Ending. Both have learned things about themselves and each other, and more trust is formed in the relationship. Now that you understand the narrative structure, you are ready to write your script, and we can move on to the second step in producing a narrative film: creating a storyboard.
Storyboards are done so that you can visualize your film scenes before you actually shoot them, which is a huge help to have on set. It makes your life so much easier. It's a lot harder to forget to get a shot or, not get coverage or a certain insert shot that you wanted to have and you just forgot while you were on set. It's a lot harder to do that when you have a good visual reference on set and you know what the final product needs to look like. And there are some amazing storyboard artists out there, like really good, to the point where you feel like you can already see the final look of the movie when you look at them. Seriously, really amazing people out there. But if you're like me, then you are not one of those people. I mean, this is how I drew Griffin. It's like a preschooler with not a lot of talent. But you don't need to be really good at drawing to be a good storyboard artist. The important thing is that you can interpret what you've drawn and that you can effectively translate them into the images you want. To demonstrate just how bad an artist you can be and still make this work, I'm going to use a few very quick excerpts from the short film script that I've been working on. And no laughing. I'll know. Here's an excerpt that I showed in the screenplay episode a few weeks ago, where the cabbie adjusts his rearview mirror to see William in the back seat. Now, as you can see here, that's supposed to be the cabbie's head in the foreground. That is William in the mirror. Those are supposed to be the buildings. That's supposed to be the street. So as you can see, I'm not very good. And just make it so you can identify the characters. Like, I know that that's William in the back seat because of that really well-drawn cowboy hat that's on him. It's a pretty still shot, but alongside your storyboards, you can add notes that tell you things like the lighting. In this case, I wanted William's face in shadow. Now, I already sort of shaded in his face to get that across, but just so that people understand that if they look at this and can't quite understand what I've drawn, William's face in shadow, except for brief flashes from exterior light. You can also say the action that's supposed to take place, Cabby adjusts the mirror. I'm not drawing a really bad arm reaching up, but, it will be understood that that happens in the shot. Here's a line from later in the script. Now he kind of does the dramatic turn back, and says his line. Now, if you want to show on-screen movement, you can use arrows within the frame. In this case, I'm showing that his head is turning around, but not his body. You can use this for anything. You can use it for walking. You can use it for any small movement that you feel you can animate just using an arrow. You can do that. Now, in this shot, I also want the camera to push in. Now, I could draw a second closer picture to show that that's what I want to have happen, and then just label it accordingly. Something I'm going to show in just a second. But in this case, I can show that the camera needs to push in just by doing this. I've drawn what the final framing will be. These arrows here show that the camera will push in. Now, just to show that it's a push and not a zoom, again, down in the notes, camera pushes in from medium to close-up. Some people don't like to completely visualize it, they just like to make a shot list. They have a list of shots that they want to get, like extreme close-up, insert, master shot, and they'll just in writing describe what they want. And those can also be put in the margins. There are also computer programs that you can use that you can make digital art storyboards, and there's quite a few out there if you don't even want to touch pen and paper.
One of the most important things to remember when creating a narrative is that preparation is key. Filming a scene is very time-consuming, but having a storyboard prepared early in pre-production will save you a lot of time in the long run. Now we are ready to move on to step number 3, making plots. This includes costume plots, property plots, and location plots. The plots will help you to think about and examine what you might need along the way. These plots should be as detailed as possible. In the costume plot, for example, you will want to list each character and include each piece of clothing you want them to wear, down to the colors and accessories. In the property plot, you need to list every prop piece that is needed for each scene. For instance, if your character uses a laptop, a picture frame, a hairbrush, or a coffee cup, these would all be considered props to add to your list. The location plot includes information about the location and what is needed. If the scene takes place in a bedroom, for example, think about what the scenery looks like. Is there a bed, pillows, a TV, wall decor? All of these things would need to be listed on your location plot. I've included some example plots in your packet. So we're now ready to move on to the next step, which I'll try to keep short and sweet. Step number 4, scheduling your film dates. Make sure you do this before holding auditions, so all of your actors are well informed before committing to the project. Once you have the dates scheduled, make sure and contact any locations that might need to be reserved. On to the last and final step, step number 5, holding auditions.
So to let people know about your audition, you're going to make a casting breakdown or a casting notice. You would want to include all the specific information that you can about the production. The title, the production type, union status, filming location. Is it in Montreal? Is it on the moon? Is it in LA? We'll go through this formatting again in a different video, so don't worry about it being perfect, but here's the information for you. So after you've listed all the specific information about the production, in your casting breakdown, you're going to want to list all the specific information about the story and the characters that you're casting. Each character's name, their age, their sex. You can put their ethnicity, but I only like to do that if it's specifically required by the script. Do they need to dance? Do they need really good improv skills? Is this somebody who needs to have fighting experience? Cast a wide net for who you're looking for. You can use online resources like Actors Access, Casting Frontier. Use Facebook or Instagram or any of your social sites to get people that you already know. Pull in your friends who are talented. That's completely appropriate. I like scheduling people in windows so that they arrive in ways that are easy for me to see them. About 10 to 15 minutes per person. I usually call in 5 people for a half an hour block. That way, they're not waiting too long, and if somebody doesn't show, I'm not waiting too long. And I would say with a small project, no matter how hard you try to confirm everybody, you're gonna have about a 5 to 10% no-show rate. So figure that out when you're booking enough people. Creating the environment for your audition, people get really nervous about what's the perfect space to have an audition. What I think is the most important thing is creating an atmosphere where an actor can show you their best. So setting up an atmosphere where everybody can be comfortable together, where everything is well labeled and really efficient, is the most important thing. In order to create that, your waiting room, or the area where the actors are all going to hang out until they're ready for their specific audition, needs to be semi-private. You need to have seating available. Have a sign-in sheet so that people who get there aren't confused about who's next. People really take comfort in being able to write down their name and saying, Sarah's first, I'm second, Becky's third. Everything that you do to make things less confusing is just going to result in a better performance from your actors, an easier, happier day for you, and overall a better production. When you have an audition, you have to have a side or a piece of the script that an actor can use to come in and audition for the role. You want to use something specifically from the script, if at all possible, to give you the best look at how that person is going to fit into the show. For a lead, I would suggest something about 1.5 pages per emotion, so no more than 3 pages for a lead. For a smaller role, I'd suggest about 1.5 pages. It doesn't have to be as contrasting as the leads, but again, anything that you can give an actor that they can really sink their teeth into, skills that they have, is great. Also, be able to answer questions about the scene. If an actor comes in and says, I don't really understand why they're so angry, you've read the script several times, so you should be able to answer that question and help guide them through the audition. I would suggest having a reader. A reader is somebody who can come in and read the other characters on the side with the actor, somebody with whom they can engage. A reader can also help you maintain focus on the actors as opposed to trying to read and focus on them as well. We hope that this information that you can take will really help you find actors who are going to help you through all of your filmmaking. Make friends with these people, start talking to them, start making a catalog of actors that you want to work with. Even if you don't hire somebody for this production, hold on to their information. They might be amazing for the next thing that you do. We hope that you can take all of this very technical information, make the experience your own, and put together some really amazing films.
So, just to recap, let's go over the steps for creating a narrative one more time. Step 1, write a script. Step 2, create a storyboard. Step 3, make your plots. Step 4, pick your dates. And Step 5, hold auditions. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my video, and just for fun, I'll show you one of the state qualifying narratives from last year.